Welcome back to the Beaver News. Last weekend was the annual Polar Plunge here in Corvallis. We have Cassidy Wood in the newsroom with more. Cassidy?
Thanks, Kiana. The Polar Plunge was an event that included the entire community of Corvallis, not just Oregon State students. I personally was able to go out and see what the event was all about. The Polar Plunge, an annual event where all over the nation people can come together to raise money for the Special Olympics and to help bring awareness to special needs issues. By jumping into the Willamette River, the plunge, held on February 13th, was a great way to physically be able to show your support in a way that is both exhilarating and impactful.
For a while, it's 46 degrees. It's going to feel tropical out there.
Participants needed to raise $50 to plunge. Before the annual costume contest, which was emceed by the local radio station, plungers were able to meet fellow supporters at the venue while learning about the cause itself and even enjoyed some live music by Wild Hog in the Woods.
The event is great because it's jumping in the water and only certain people are going to do that. And it's a fun way to make money, you know. Yeah. And the money, it's the only real main event that they've got that gets money for Special Olympics Oregon. So without this, they couldn't do it.
Raising money for Special Olympics is the ticket to joining in on the plunge itself. Corvallis Police, Fire, and other safety officers created a small eddy in the river for the participants to jump in to represent the contribution they made to the Special Olympics Fund. This event is near and dear to many people, but one group in particular are the police officers of Oregon. As one of the main partners of this event, the police officers of Oregon hold the Polar Plunge close to their hearts.
Well, we're part of the police department, and this is Special Olympics, and it's all about law enforcement supporting, those who participate in Special Olympics.
Definitely. So is this your first Polar Plunge, or?
No, we've been doing this for a number of years.
With donations coming from all over the state, the Special Olympics of Oregon is able to host 12,000 athletes each year, making a difference in thousands of lives across the state. This has been Cassidy Wood with Beaver News.
The band Wild Hog in the Woods, who performed at Polar Plunge, will also be here in our studios tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for Locals Live. Make sure you tune in.
I don't know about you, but I sure have been stressed out these past couple of weeks, with midterms and everything. And as we all know, misery loves company. So I went out to the quad to see if there was any other students out there feeling the same wrath of midterm season that I was.
Important distinction between positive analysis. Ooh, I am positively analyzing this and it sucks. Oh, hi, didn't see you there, sorry. It's week 7 here and midterms are in full swing. Multitasking is a must, so reporting and studying have become one. We're gonna walk around OSU, ask a few questions, and see what people do to study for midterms. This week we're talking about midterms. There you go, folks. What is one of your what's your favorite place on campus to study?
I really like hanging out in the MU, actually, like on the couches and stuff. That's just so cozy, and it makes me feel like I'm not studying.
Right, it makes you feel like you're in a better place than at the MU studying, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. And how many hours do you spend usually at the library when you're studying?
After class, I'm there till like midnight. So I have lab until 7. I'm there till 12, and I just am either working on physics homework or other physics classes. Far too much time there, but
you should probably get paid. You're there so much.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty much making the school a lot of money. They should pretty much give me a medal or something.
Yeah. What is it that you do to study for midterms?
Live in the library. Don't leave until you have to go to sleep.
I'm here with Abby Passion. Abby, are you passionate about midterms?
I mean, I guess they're important, but I wouldn't say they're a big passion of mine.
And how much do you like midterms?
Oh, probably a 2.
2, really? So not a 1?
No, not a 1. I mean, necessary, but, pretty much, evil as it is, so.
Yeah, necessary evil. That's college for you. If midterms were a cartoon character, who would they be and why?
That's a good one. I guess Daffy Duck because, it's just annoying and intense and just too much all at once. You're just like, ugh.
If midterms were a biblical character, who would they be?
I would say Samson.
If midterms were a Greek god, who would they be and why?
Great question. I have to think about this for a second. I'd say Poseidon, because he likes the waves. He's super, like, you never know what he's going to do. You never know what's coming. People are kind of scared of him.
Why do you choose the mellow beats section of Spotify for your studying?
Well, I always feel like I'm in the zone, like for studying. Like I'm just super focused.
Get in the zone. I'm EJ Alba. Oh, sorry. With Beaver News.
Well, how do you think your midterms went?
You know, I had one this morning, and I went into it feeling pretty well, pretty good about it, and I walked out of it and was like, wow, I need to do the news later. So I don't think I did well. Yeah.
Well, it's not every day you feel good about taking a midterm.
That's true.
It's part of college. Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Kiana Hatch.
And I'm EJ Alba. For more Beaver News, make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and watch us on YouTube. And stay tuned for Beaver Sports Show coming up next. We have Sports Show anchor Logan McGinnis out in the newsroom. What can we expect for the Sports Show tonight, Logan?
On the show tonight, we have some OSU women's basketball highlights, a special story that happened in Gill Coliseum last Friday, trading faces, and top plays. Stay tuned after the break.
Coming up, find out who won the OSU Has Talent show. Also, we sit down with split screen producer Tyler Chilcote to talk video games. And see why my co-anchor made a trip to the emergency room after last week's show. All that and a lot more tonight on the Beaver News. Good evening and welcome to the Beaver News. I'm Kiana Hatch.
And I'm EJ Alba. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. A case involving a 20-year-old former Oregon State student accused of raping a woman at the Phi Kappa Psi fraternity has been delayed until March while parties await DNA test evidence. Tyler Lizelle Warren pleaded not guilty on charges of first-degree rape, second-degree sexual abuse, and first-degree burglary in connection with an incident last July. Warren has been booked in Benton County Jail since July 15th.
This past week, students showcased their talent in the NU Ballroom. Marvin Lewis met with the host of the event to talk about the performances.
I'm Maxwell Bettendorf, your host for the entirety of the evening, and we have a very exciting... I'm jealous of the wind.
Friday night was the annual OSU's Got Talent show, put on by the MUPC. Students were able to display their talents for the many people in attendance. The show was hosted by Max Bettendorf, who said it was a great event.
Hosting an event like OSU Has Talent has always been very entertaining because you see a lot of new talent, a lot of new people coming through.
While there were some errors during the show, they managed to get through them and continue as scheduled.
There's a couple of hiccups on timing, especially like how Gabe had a piano, rolling that in, grand piano out of nowhere is a big setup. So there's a lot of pause time and issues in areas where you don't need it, but at the end of it, we managed to figure it all out, get everything smoothly run.
Even though the show was impressive, Bettendorf would have liked to see a bit more of a variety in terms of talent.
I thought the talent was very interesting. I'm very picky about talent when it comes to a lot of different things. I like to have a wide variety of talent, but most of the people there were musically talented, whether that's dancing or singing or playing an interesting instrument. So there wasn't a lot of variety when it came to the talent. Like last year, we had a man do a Rubik's Cube, we had a dude do stand-up comedy, we had a couple of dancers, but for the most part, it was much wider last year. This year is more framed on musical talent.
Going home with a massively, comedically sized check of $300 goes to Angelique!
This has been Marvin Lewis with the Beaver News.
As well as hosting, Max has his own show right here on KBVR TV called Welcome to the Show. Check it out on the KBVR TV YouTube page.
And another exciting Beaver news, a new living quarters is in the works for the incoming freshmen of the fall of 2016 school year. Here is Cassidy Wood in the newsroom with an exciting interview with the woman who helped originate the idea. Cassidy?
Thanks, EJ. This week I was able to sit down with the Club and Custom Trips coordinator and Intro to Adventure program instructor, Sheila Evans. Sheila shared with me a little bit about the ALI program as a whole, as well as the plan she has for the program moving forward into the 2016 school year. The ALI Club, which stands for Adventure Leadership Institute, is an awesome organization run by fellow peers here at Oregon State. The club is known for leading a variety of different PAT classes on campus that students can take for credit, as well as creating an amazing and diverse kind of learning environment for one another. Beaver News was able to sit down with Sheila Evans, the head coordinator of ALI, to learn a little bit more about what the program has to offer.
ALI is the Adventure Leadership Institute. We're housed here in the Department of Rec Sports, but we connect with some of our colleagues in the academic world on campus. And what we do is we teach concepts of leadership. Our classroom happens to be the outdoors. And what we do is we teach those concepts. Whether you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, leadership is leadership. What we want to do is teach those concepts so that you can transfer those into whatever career path you decide to take.
ALI has been constantly growing and expanding, especially over the most recent years. Because of this, Sheila, alongside her colleagues, have fought to create a new living quarters designed specifically for incoming freshmen interested in an ALI lifestyle. ALI has now become a part of what is known as a living learning community.
Living learning communities, these are cohorts that live in a residence on campus. They have a common interest. They are often pursuing academic coursework together. So they arrive on campus and they have this network of peers who are in classes together.
Coming to college can be an extremely scary thing. Arriving to a completely new place, knowing very few people, can often put students in uncomfortable life situations. By creating a living space solely for students interested in joining the ALI lifestyle, Sheila has allowed for a new community to form where new freshmen can come, live, and feel accepted while they continue on their academic path.
Oftentimes we find students who come to our doorstep when they're in their junior or even senior year. And what we thought was, how nice would it be for us to connect with students as they arrive to campus, get them started on this pathway. So now that they have 4 or 5 years, that they can develop experiences that will connect to those academic pursuits.
The ALI Living Learning Headquarters will be established on a floor in Finley Hall by the end of this coming summer, so that the freshmen entering in fall 2016 can have that opportunity to live with other adventurers with similar interests. This has been Cassidy Wood with Beaver News.
Coming up after the break, we sit down with the producer of Split Screen. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Beaver News. We are here with Student Emmy-nominated producers of the State of the Arts, Courtney Mullis and Gabe Fermonti. The show airs here on KBVR. And how are you guys doing?
I'm good. How are you? Here, Max.
Oh, wow. I wanted to ask you guys personally, what is State of the Art? What is the show about, and how did that come to be?
State of the Arts is just a student-run showcase of different student artists here at OSU. Me and my friend Sean Watson started it for practicum credit for our major here at KBVR TV. And we produced 3 episodes before we handed the reins over to Courtney, because she was one of our original crew members.
And can you tell us a little bit about how you choose people to be on your State of the Arts show?
Well, it started out with Maddie Corbin, who was our first guest on the show, who is friends with Sean and Gabe, and then we kind of branched out from like people that they know, and then they know, and then it just kind of spread like that.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
We
Very nice.
made some art connections with artists and just sort of tried to connect with more artists from there.
Of course, and you guys are still working on finding more art and more people to come at. So I want to ask personally, both of you, what is your favorite show that you have produced on the show?
For me, it'd probably have to be Maddie Corbin's episode, just because that was the first episode that we produced of the show. And so it was us kind of just testing the waters, trying to make a documentary style, almost like after the fashion of Oregon Art Beat on OPB, just showcasing the person and their art and having them talk about it. So it was cool to see that start.
Right.
Without playing favorites, mine would probably have to be Claire Harden. She was the first artist that I got to produce myself with the help of Sean Watson. So it was pretty exhilarating.
Yeah, that would be amazing. So what projects are you currently working on right now?
So right now I'm working with Abigail Lossley, and she's currently a graduating senior, so she's pretty busy with her her artwork, and then I'm still trying to find a second artist for the term.
Oh, wow. So like you stated, then I guess this question is more for you, Courtney, is what do you see as the future coming into a new year, or coming out of this term and then moving into next year? You have a lot lined up as far as new artwork you want to show, new artists. So what is the future for State of the Art?
Well, I've been trying to work with Prism to kind of, because they also work with artists and stuff like that, featuring them in their magazine. So I'm trying to get on the same page with them, and trying to branch out just from like painting and sculpting to maybe music artists, photography, graphic design, and all other sorts of artists on campus.
Wow.
Do you guys particularly have art that you're interested in, like as a hobby? Do you like photography or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I came into this major with an interest in photography and graphic design, like pen and ink drawing. So I was naturally drawn to film art, which is something I like doing.
I did a lot of photography as like a hobby. I started out in the 35 millimeter like film photography, and then it kind of like spread to digital back in high school. So it was kind of a big interest of mine.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And well, this question here would be more for you, Gabe. I wanted to ask, since you and Sean built this show, State of the Art, from the ground up, are you comfortable and happy about passing it on to Courtney to take over when you graduate in the coming fall?
Yeah, you know, I think Courtney's been doing a great job with the last few episodes she produced, because I mean, she was with us from the get-go on all the episodes, helping us produce them. So I have no doubt that she's going to make the episodes that she makes even better.
It's incredible.
And do you have any advice, Courtney, for students that are seeing this and maybe want to be on your show? Can they come see you on the 4th floor? Or?
Yeah, I hang around on the 4th floor of the SEC. I practically live there. You can also just email me at mullisc@oregonstate.edu and just tell me that like what kind of stuff you're interested in, and yeah, I'll just talk to you and kind of figure it out.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Gabe and Courtney, for being on our show and sharing State of the Arts with us.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Coming up after the break, hear what students have planned for Moms Weekend. Also, see a new invention from a young entrepreneur here at Oregon State. All that and more when we return.